By saying you've heard a lot of expressed pain and trauma and anger and disappointment and disgust in the room. And you've heard a lot of stories in the room as well. And I really hope that you listen to the stories as much as you listen to the recommendations. Because in the stories you will also find answers and solutions that you may not have seen before, instead of just dismissing those stories. So I am here speaking on behalf of the Collaborative for Safe, Fair, and Just Cleveland. It is a group of us who have been coming together to argue for a meta requirement of an autonomous, independent stakeholder group to actually bring to bear the concerns of aggrieved and impacted parties, to look at consent decrees in other cities. We've done research in Cincinnati, Albuquerque, New Orleans, Seattle, to begin to look at the ways in which participants in similar processes in other cities are trying to deal with this issue. And in that, we have paid specific attention to not only what citizens say here in Cleveland, but what people have done in other places. Here is our preliminary list of community concerns from the Collaborative for Safe, Fair, and Just Cleveland. 1. Revision of use of force policies, including use of deadly force, to include, among other things, the requirement that all officers involved in any situation involving force submit a written report explaining the need for force, the identity of all participants, and the supervisor's acknowledgement. 2. Collection, analyzing, and public reporting of all incidences involving force. 3. Implementation of an anti-profiling legislation. 4. Development of bias-free policing program with professional training. See, the difference is between constitutional policing and bias-free policing is to really bring to bear the issue of race. One of the things that was missing from the Department of Justice findings report was the issue of race, and we have yet to have a real honest, open dialogue about race and how that impacts the way we do policing, how that impacts our criminal justice system, and how that impacts the opportunities, economic, political, and social, for people in our community. And until we begin to look at this in a multi-system, multi-layered, multi-level way, then we're not going to be able to actually solve this problem. Indeed, you can have a great police department, but if people don't have access to opportunities and find themselves in disparate policing situations, then what we have done is trained a great police department to manage and supervise and lord over and occupy communities that don't have opportunities. That's me, that's not the Collaborative. 5. Development and implementation of community policing programs. 6. The revision of the Office of Professional Conduct, Independent Civilian Review Board. Believe me, you want an independent civilian review board. You don't just want a review board. You want an independent civilian review board to address police misconduct complaint process, to deal with intake procedures, to deal with investigations, to deal with and have subpoena power and adjudication power. You want to institutionalize ongoing independent. We want revision of investigatory stops and search and seizure policy, including canine intervention. 8. Community engagement and transparency. 9. Revision of periodic psychological and evaluation criteria for all law enforcement personnel. 10. Training of all police personnel, including support personnel and dispatchers, on community policing, utilization of technology,